lessons work and how you can join in. First of all, let's talk about the teacher's video box. This is the video box that I'm in and that you're looking at right now. This is where the teacher will share their screen and show you what to do. When the teacher is showing you how to do something, you should make this video box go into full screen by clicking on the full screen icon here. Try it now and this video should get bigger and cover your whole screen. When the lesson starts, you will see all the steps for the lesson appear here. These are the steps you need to follow to create the project, and the teacher will guide you through each of these step by step. Though if you wish to go ahead and follow them yourself, that's no problem. You will normally be working with two tabs, one tab for the instructions and one tab for creating the code and your project. When you have completed a step, come back to the instructions tab and click on this green done button. You get an award and learning points for each step you complete. Under the video box, you will see what step the teacher is currently on. Under that, you will see the chat feed. The chat feed shows you how everyone is doing, and you can put your own entries into it by clicking on the blue chat button and entering your question or message. Or you can give a quick thumbs up or down, or even put in emojis by using the green react button. After the teacher has shown you how to do a step, click on the exit full screen button to make the video go back small. Try it now. Okay, that's it for the instructions. We can't wait to see what you create. And remember, you can always come up with your own ideas and add them into your project. If you do want to share your project and your own ideas, you can do that using the purple button at the bottom of the lesson. We often show the best ones at the start of the next class. Okay, today's lesson is going to start in a few minutes, so strap in and get ready to code. Hey everyone, we'll be starting the live lesson shortly, but before we do, let's go over a few instructions on how live lessons work and how you can join in. First of all, let's talk about the teacher's video box. This is the video box that I'm in and that you're looking at right now. This is where the teacher will share their screen and show you what to do. When the teacher is showing you how to do something, you should make this video box go into full screen by clicking on the full screen icon here. Try it now and this video should get bigger and cover your whole screen. When the lesson starts, you will see all the steps for the lesson appear here. These are the steps you need to follow to create the project, and the teacher will guide you through each of these step by step. Though if you wish to go ahead and follow them yourself, that's no problem. You will normally be working with two tabs, one tab for the instructions and one tab for creating the code and your project. When you have completed a step, come back to the instructions tab and click on this green done button. You get an award and learning points for each step you complete. Under the video box, you will see what step the teacher is currently on. Under that, you will see the chat feed. The chat feed shows you how everyone is doing, and you can put your own entries into it by clicking on the blue chat button and entering your question or message. Or you can give a quick thumbs up or down, or even put in emojis by using the green react button. After the teacher has shown you how to do a step, click on the exit full screen button to make the video go back small. Try it now. Okay, that's it for the instructions. We can't wait to see what you create. And remember, you can always come up with your own ideas and add them into your project. If you do want to share your project and your own ideas, you can do that using the purple button at the bottom of the lesson. We often show the best ones at the start of the next class. Okay, today's lesson is going to start in a few minutes, so
Hello everyone, welcome to Coding Ireland. This is me, Radhika, and today we are meeting again for one of our Code Along classes. So what are we going to do today? Any guesses? Well, it's not build battles if you're waiting for one. That's something that we'll do probably the next week. So today we are going to be making a donut rush game on Microsoft MakeCode. It's a very interesting game, and let me show you how it's going to look like. So once we start the game, this is a multi-level game where your player has 10 seconds to collect 10 10 donuts. Basically, it's not 10 donuts, it's every level has a different amount of target that you have to, the amount of donuts that you have to collect as target. With each level, the number of donuts will increase. Okay, so let me just mute that sound and show it to you guys once again. Okay, so as you can see, my score on the top right screen is increasing over here, and my level just increased to level 2. Now I'm on level 3. The time that I get for each level remains the same. I just managed to come on level 6. So my sprite is speaking the level as and when I cross a new one. So let me show you deliberately by losing this level this time. And game's over. So the purpose of the game is to just rush through the donuts, collect them, and make as much of a high score as possible. Okay, guys, notice this time we have added one new feature to the game. Do you see this sign over here which says collect the donuts? Okay, that is something called splash screen. So we're going to be learning a lot of new concepts today in the game, and we'll go through them as we speak. So without much ado, let me begin today's session. Step number 1. First of all, we just create, as usual, a new project on Microsoft MakeCode. Go to new project, give it a name. So I'm going to call it Donut Rush and create. For everyone who's new to Microsoft MakeCode, this is very much similar to Scratch, but a level up. So here we have in the center our categories for different kinds of coding blocks. On the left side, we have the simulator where our game will appear. These buttons are simulating, that means they are enacting how a microbit device would look like if you download your game and play onto it, somewhat like a video game. And on the right side, we have the coding area. All right, so we can make the games in either blocks or the JavaScript version, but we're just going to go with the blocks. Okay, so that's it. Step number 1 is done. Okay, all right. And in the gamer series, I have earned a new award, that is an Xbox. That's very relevant because we're making a game and it makes sense to just earn a game. Okay, step number 2 now is to set up the game. Guys, whenever we create a game, there are a lot of elements that are included in a game. For example, score, level, the characters in the game, the background, and all such things, right? So the elements that we have in our game are the level, the target. So the target in this case becomes all the donuts that we have to collect. The collected variable will keep a track of how many donuts we have collected at that moment. Then we have the sprite, which is your player. Okay, and then we will give the sprite some activity, some speed with which it can move. So let's see how we can achieve that in Microsoft MakeCode. Everything that we need to set in the beginning of the game, we do it in the on start block. And as soon as you run your code, the on start block is the one which gets executed automatically in the very beginning. Okay, guys, so come on, let's do it. First of all, let's go to the variables section and let's create our 3 variables that we need. A variable is nothing but something that changes during the duration of the game, something which is not constant. All right. So we have the target, we have the variable collected, and we have the variable level. So you can see all these variables have appeared under the your variables section. So we're going to set, in the very beginning, we're going to set the level to 1. We're going to set the target to 0. That means target is specifying how many donuts we have to collect in that particular level. So in the very beginning, we're just setting it to 0. We will set it to a relevant value later on. And collected also, we will set it to 0. Then we need to create our player. So go to the sprite section. Guys, a sprite is nothing but the characters in the game. So go to create and choose set my sprite. So my sprite is also a variable, and this variable is pointing to an actual sprite character of kind player. So in Microsoft MakeCode, we have sprites of different kinds. So there's player, there's food, there's enemy. We have so many categories so that it becomes easy for us to differentiate them based on what we want to make them do in the game. Okay, so for example, the player is our main character. Click on this empty box and go to gallery. You can choose any character of your choice. You can also make one in the editor if you're a very good artist. Okay, for now, I'm just going to choose the one that's mentioned in the description. So I'm going to go choose this girl. And as soon as we create one, you can see the character has appeared on the center of the screen. So something about this screen over here, guys, this is 140 pixels wide and 120 pixels in height. Okay, and whenever you create any sprite, it automatically assigns itself to the center of the screen. So this is the player. Okay, okay. We have 3 people with us right now. Okay, so all right, we have to move the player now. So go to controller and choose move my sprite. Guys, if you are confused as to, hey, where will I find, where is the move block in all of these categories? One easy way is to just go to the search block and write move. And it will list down all the blocks which are somehow related to move or have that word move in them. Okay, so it's one shortcut and one very useful hack. So we are going to move this sprite with buttons plus Vx and Vy. That means velocity along the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and velocity along the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. Velocity is nothing but speed. So by default, it gives you 100 along both the axes. So guys, if I make, let's say, Vx 0, I cannot move this along the horizontal axis. See, I'm pressing the left and right arrow keys, which you can also see from over here. But since it's 0, I cannot move it. And this is 100 along the vertical. So I'm just showing this to you so that you know what Vx and Vy can do. So for this game, we are assigning it the speed of 70 along both the directions. Okay, so now our sprite can freely move. Okay, guys. So this is how the game is looking in the very beginning. But do you notice the game that I showed you in the very beginning? This is the screen that is first displayed. It's like kind of like an introduction, which is missing in our game currently. Guys, what we are missing is called the splash screen. Okay, so a splash screen is like an introduction to your game. You might have seen it in mobile apps. It's like if you open Netflix, if you open Instagram or Amazon, any app, if you open the small screen which comes for a split second, like a loading indicator as well, that is called a splash screen. Okay, so we're gonna add it to our game, and it's there in the game, and in the prompt, go to splash, put it at the very beginning, and say, you just put out a message, collect the donuts. The code will auto refresh itself, and we have it over here. Okay, so this A means this A button on your microbit devices, but if you're playing it on the laptop, then A button is equivalent to your space key. So if I press the space key, the splash screen is gone and we enter the actual game. Cool? So with that, we are done with step number 2, and I'm gonna mark this as done. We receive a scythe in the Halloween series. So all the students who are joining us in the middle of the game, everyone, we are making a donut rush game where we need to collect donuts in a specific time frame. Anytime you guys are confused, you can drop me a chat message. And for people joining in later, you can always rewind the video and just watch all the steps that I've done up till now. And whenever you are done with that, you can catch up with me in real time. So I see no doubts as of yet, and I'm gonna go to step number 3. So step number 3 is now we have to start coding further, and we will be creating something called a function. So guys, this is a new concept that we are doing today of functions. What is a function? So a function is something which is a group of coding commands, okay, clubbed into one. And those set of coding commands, or you can say code, is used again and again in your code. All right. So, for example, um, let's say you have um, okay, for example, over here, I'm just going to explain it to you with this. We have something called start level. Now, let's first code this, and after that, I'm going to show you how functions come into place. Okay, for now, just understand that function is just a bunch of code which is given a name. Okay, and that bunch of code is reused at multiple places inside the game. So let's see. Okay, go to advanced section and click on functions. So when you click on functions, you will see something called make a function. It's like making your own coding block. Okay, so you'll just see now. Okay, so go to functions, click on make a function. Now, what is this function doing? This function is gonna start our level. Okay, so everything is done in the start block. Now we need to start. We just need to go to level 1. So we're gonna say start level. Guys, one tip: whenever you are writing the name of a function, you can follow something called camel case. Camel case is where you're writing multiple words together, and you start each new word with the capital letter, and only the first one starts with a small one. So if I say start level in the game, so you see I have multiple words, and every word is starting with with a capital letter except the first one. It's more like hashtags, right? If anyone's I don't know, on social media. All right. So this is start level. Don't worry about the parameters as of now. Just note over here, and we get our function over here. Now this function, why is it called a function? Because function means to perform something. All right. So our code over here will have some function that it has to perform. And what is the function that it has to perform? It's of starting this particular level that we will mention inside over here. Okay. So what is this function going to do? This function is going to set the collected amount to 0. Again, we will reset it. Okay, let's say we are starting level 1. So we say in the new level, we have not yet collected any donuts. So set it to 0. We will set a random background color to it. We will make our sprite say on which level we are, and we will set the target, and we will set the countdown to 10 seconds. So target is 10 plus level. That means, uh, let's say if the current level is 1, so the target will always be 10 plus the current level. In this case, in level 1, the target donuts will be 11. In level 2, the number of target donuts would be, say, 10 plus 2, 12. In level 3, they would be 13. Okay, so that's how you have to, you are increasing your target in each and every level. Okay. Okay, so let us start. So first thing that we have to do is we go and we set the collected to 0, and then we set a background color. Background colors come in scene, and you see there are multiple colors that we have over here. So if I say red, it will set the background color to red. You guys cannot see this right now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove the splash screen for a minute so that you can see. Okay, that won't work because we need to call. Okay. Guys, every background color over here has a number, kind of like a position assigned to it. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. So in your instructions, you're given that you can select a random color from 3 to 7. Okay, 3 to 7 means that you're basically picking something from 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so out of pink, orange, yellow, green, and another green, you're just picking a random color. So feel free to choose, you can say from 0 to 10. Okay, it's up to your choice. So I'm just gonna go and say pick a random color from, say, 3 to 7. Okay, then what you're gonna suppose to say is your sprite will say the level that you are on. So choose my sprite, and what does it have to say? It has to say the current level. Okay, so if it says level 1, so you have to join these two words, level, and you have to give the actual level. Go to variables, click on level. So your sprite will say just the number, which is the level, but we also need to make it say the string. So we will say join, and we will say level, and we will put level over here. So this is the one. So it says which level we are for, let's say, for 1 second. Okay, then we have to set the target and we have to start the countdown. Again, go to variables, set the target. So what is the target? The target is 10 plus level. So when you have to add, go to math, put it over here, 10 plus, go to variables, choose level, 10 plus level. Okay, and then we start the countdown. So countdown comes under the info section, and we start a countdown of 10 seconds. Okay, guys, now if you're confused, don't be. You'll very soon see in the next step how this whole thing is working. But for now, I'm just gonna s- set this step as done. And we receive a carrot in the fruits and vegetables section. So guys, step 4 is to create the donuts, but I'm going to do this after step 5. Okay. Uh, I'm going to do step 5 first, and then I'm going to create the donuts. So step 5 is actually starting the game. So this function that we have created, we need to call this function. So what is function calling? Go to your functions and you will now see a block called call start level. You see, it's very similar to the other coding blocks we have. So we have basically created our own coding block. So like splash makes a splash screen, move sprite will move the sprite, set background color will set the background color. Similarly, call start level will do this. Okay, let's see how. So I just started this. So what happened, guys? All of these things started. The last we saw, we had a sprite. Okay, I'm just going to remove the countdown for a minute so that you guys can see it for longer. I'll set it for 100 seconds. Okay, so when we say call start level, it called. That means, okay, guys, that means instead of this block, we are actually doing all of this. So, so that means both things are equivalent. Where did it go? Yeah. Okay. So call start level is equivalent to this 4 lines of code. So rather than writing this line over here, okay, what we have done is we have written this block here and we have defined our function start level. Okay, so as soon as call start level is called, the first line that happens is there was something else, right? In the first line, set collected. Okay, where did set collected go? Let me just write that again, guys. I'm so sorry. I think it got uh, removed somewhere in. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that happened was the collected variable went to 0. Okay. The background color went to yellow. That means there was a random color between 3 to 7. So you guys can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means the random number that it chose was 5. Okay. And now it's orange. Okay. Then the sprite said the level number, which did you guys see it? Just see it again. See, it's saying level 1. Let me make it for 5 seconds so that you can see it again. It says level 1 for 5 seconds. Okay, and the target variable is 10 plus 1, 11, which you guys cannot see right now, but it's there. and the countdown is 100 seconds, and it's uh, going down as we speak. But I've just increased all these values so that you guys can see what is happening. Okay, let me just set them back to 2 seconds. Let's let it speak for 2 seconds, and I'm just going to go back to the countdown to 10 seconds. Okay, so I did this step first because I wanted to show you what is happening. So as soon as we press the space, we have started this level. Okay, all right, let's go back to step number 4, which is where we create the donuts. Okay, guys, now to create the donuts, how many donuts we have to create? We have to create the target amount of donuts. So in level number 1, we have to basically create 11 donuts. Guys, we are repeating the process of creating the donut 11 times, right? So I could do something like, I could go to the loop section and I could say, hey, repeat how many times. I can say repeat it 10 plus level times, right? 10 plus level times, that means 11 times we have to repeat the process of creating the donut. So how do we create the donut? Go to sprite, okay, and say set my sprite to. So I'm going to rename my sprite to, and I'm going to call it donut, and set this donut variable to the sprite of kind food, which is not because it's actually food, but because it's something that we have to collect in a positive sense. So food sprites are something that you collect along the game, which can act as a positive thing which gives you points. Okay, so click over here, go to gallery, and let's choose the donut. So when I press space, guys, 11 donuts have been created. You cannot see them because all of them, I told you, whenever you create new sprites, they are at the center of the stage, center of the screen. So basically, all the 11 donuts are one behind the other. Okay, what I can do is that I can make all of these donuts to go in separate positions. So for that, choose the sprites, and we have to set your sprites position to x0 and y0. No, not that, because they will again go to the same position. I have to choose a random x and a random y. Okay, so first go to random x, duplicate, and a random y. So feel free to choose anything. So I told you that the width along the x-axis is 140, along the y-axis it's 120. So let's just say we are going from 120 to 20 to 140, or you can just say, okay, I want 2200. Over here also you can say I want 20 to 120. Okay, let's go 140 here. Anything. So if you want to span the whole screen, you can say 0 to 140, 0 to 120, anything. Or I can just take the values that they've given over here. Okay, so let's see how it happens. So nothing happened, guys. Okay, so 11 times. Why did nothing happen? Because I did a small error. I actually needed to create the sprite, not set the sprite. Okay, so I did a small error over there. So I had to go and say, sorry, what just happened? 1 second, guys. Sorry, yeah, that's right. That's correct. That is what I've done. Okay, let me just see again. Okay, the issue is I don't have to set my sprite. I have to set the donut's position. Okay, my sprite was my player. That is why the player went somewhere in the random position. Okay, okay. Now you see we have 11 sprites. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? So they are randomly spread across the screen. See, again, every time these are 11 sprites, and the sprite is actually saying the level number, which kind of gets hidden by the donuts. Okay, so that is what we have done, which completes step number 4 and 5. That is the creation of donuts. Okay, so if you see in your step 4, we have used the loops in a different way. We have used something which sounds like for index from 0 to target, do this and that. Guys, that is a different form, different way to write a for loop. Okay, I'll just show it to you how this loop and that loop are different. So what we've done over here, we are telling it to repeat this process 11 times. Okay, and that's it. The other thing that happens is this. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, this is a dummy project, guys, just to show you how the for loop looks like. So what is happening over here? I have a dummy sprite, which is just this dot, and it's speaking the numbers from 0 to 4. So let me use the usual loop for once, and I will say repeat 4 times. Make your sprite to say, okay, I'm going to say make a variable called index. Okay, it exists. I'm going to say make a variable called count. Okay, in the beginning I will say set count to 0. 4 times I will say count, and I will change my count by 1. So what is happening over here? We have a variable called count, and we are repeating this task 4 times. What are we doing? We are telling the sprite to say the count variable for 1 second, and then we are changing the value of that count by 1. So what happens? See, the first time it says 0, then the count is changed to 1. So this is one circle. In the second circle, now the value of count is 1. So it says 1, and we change the count by 1, so it becomes 2. Then again we repeat it. This time the value of count is 3, and we say it. We change the count again by 1, so the value is 4. Okay, so you see the count got changed from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, guys, so if I say repeat 10 times, then what will happen? It will say count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way it will go till 9, right? Because we started from 0. Okay, so a simple way to do this is the for loop using the index. So what you can do is you can just say for count from 0 to 4, just say count. Okay, you don't need to increase the count from, you don't need to say change count by 1 each time. You don't need to initialize the count. You don't need to say set count to 0. You just do this one line which says for count from 0 to 4. This line automatically creates this variable count. I mean, okay, so by default you already have this index variable. Okay, I use count over here just for an example. You already have a variable called index. That index gets assigned to 0 in the beginning. From 0, that means it's getting assigned to 0. It's going all the way to 4. And we say that variable. So let's see, guys. Let's try it again. Index 0 to 4, just say index. So if I say from 0 to 8, now you will see that this will go all the way from 0 to 8, 8 included. If we go from 0 to 1, that means 0 and 1. That means this loop is run for 2 times. Okay, so over here, if I, let's say if I create a new variable and I call it sprite2. Okay, let me just create donuts itself. So if I say, okay, I'm creating these donuts over here, and same thing, I'm just gonna set them to a random position, x and y. So just go to a random 0 to 100. So what is happening then? Two donuts are created because your loop is running 2 times. From 0 to 1, that means 1 time for 0 and 1 time for 1. Okay, so it's like you get an index along with that. Okay, and you can say the donuts can say something like their index number along with them. Okay, see, this is donut 0, this is donut 1. So if I create 9 donuts, now donuts are saying their index number: 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. All right, so it's similar to the repeat 11 times, or for index going from 0 to 10, it's the same thing. Okay, so in this case this also works, but sometimes you do need an index number, like you need the number, the count associated, it's like a position associated with the sprites. Okay, so if I change this to the index way, it's very simple. From index going from 0 to how much? 10 plus level. Okay, same thing. And we go over here. But guys, remember, we don't have to say from 0 to 10 plus level, because it's the count is starting from 0 and not from 1. So that means we are actually creating 0 to 11. That means it's 12 donuts: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you see, it's basically uh, in total it's 12 donuts and not 11. But that matters because our target is 11 and we are creating one more donut, one extra donut. Okay, so we have to keep a tab on that. What you can do is just write from 0 to target. Okay, we don't need this addition thing over here. You can just say from 0 to target. Okay, so target was again this. We need one donut less than the target because we are starting from 0. So go to logic, go to math, sorry, and just subtract 1. Target minus 1. Guys, I hope you understand why we are going from target minus 1, because target is 11, and when we start from 0 to 11, we are adding 1 more than the target. So we just subtracted this one thing. Let's check this. We should have 11 donuts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's check again. This is very, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, guys? So if I had not done this minus 1 thing, notice if I go from 0 to target, we will have 12 donuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 2. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? So that means this was correct. Okay, with time you will get use of this for index loop, and you can always send your queries in chat or later on if you need to ask more questions on this. But for now, we are done with step number 4 and step number 5. All right, guys. So let's try and play this. There is nothing much to play right now because we have not added the feature of what to do when we actually go and hit a donut. Okay, so to do that, we have step number 6. We are actually going to collect the donuts. So let's see what happens. So whenever our player will overlap with the food, okay, so we will, of course, we will increase the collected count by 1 each time. We will also change the score by 1 each time, and we will destroy that donut. Okay, let's do this much and see what happens. So in the sprite section, we have something called collected overlaps. So the player, we are calling the player sprite by sprite, and we are calling the food sprite by other sprite. So basically food, other sprite, and donut are the same thing. Player and sprite are the same thing. So what do? We change the score by 1. We change the collected variable by 1. Let's see. Okay, so you can see. But you see the score is going by a lot numbers. Why? Because whenever all the while that we are touching that donut, we are overlapping it, the score keeps on increasing. So what do you need to do? You need to destroy that particular sprite. So under sprite, you have destroy, and you have to destroy which sprite? The donut sprite, because you have collected it. Drag this and say other sprite. So now you will see as soon as we collect the sprite, it gets deleted. And only 1 point is taken away. So you can add some effects. So you can say when you collect a sprite, just give me a big smile. Let's see. Okay, so you see smiles are coming along your way. All right. Now what do? Now when the collected sprite has reached the target, okay, then we want to go to the next level. So when the collected is more than or equal to the target, okay, so what do? We change the level by 1 and we give it a sound, and we call start level. That means now the level is 2 and we again will call the start level. I'll show you how it works. Otherwise, we will just play this sound. So let's see. So go to logic and choose if else block. That means if some condition becomes true, which condition needs to become true, guys? The condition is, okay, if your collected amount becomes equal to the target amount. Okay, if the collected amount becomes equal to the target amount, then let's first play a sound. You can say play sound. Okay, this will also come under music. So you can say any sound you like. You can say play sound jump, and we also need to change the level by one. So we go to the next level two, okay, and we will call the start level. Otherwise, that means we are still not reached the target, so we do nothing. Okay, we do nothing, we just play a simple sound. Okay, so any sound that you like, guys. Let's say I just choose this random sound. Okay, so let's see. So this is the collection sound. Okay, target is done. Okay, so you see that that was a different sound where we have um, the level completion sound. So what is happening basically, when the collected reached the target, we change the level by one, and we call start level. So what is start level? Where is our function? Here is the function, guys. This is the function. That means this set of code will start happening again. So what happened? We reset the collected to 0, which was earlier, this collected value was earlier pointing to 11, right? That means the one at level 0. Okay, we set a new color, we make the sprite say the current level, we set a new target, we again start a countdown, and then we again create the donuts equal to the new target. So you see how functions are important. We would have, if we did not create a function, we would be writing this code at this place over here, right? This whole thing would come over here, and this whole set of code would also come over here. So we have basically reused the code. That is what functions are. So if you go back to step number 5, sorry, step number 3, it says a function in programming is a reusable piece of code. It allows you to group several commands together, which can be called upon whenever you need them. This helps to make your code more organized, efficient, and smaller as well. Right? So we are reusing this section of code. Okay. It is group commands. We are grouping the commands. We are calling it from several places in our code, and it has definitely made our code shorter, efficient, and easy to understand. So anybody who looks at your code and sees this block called call start level, they know that you're just starting a new level. Just by seeing these lines of code, nobody knows you're starting a new level. Okay, so you have grouped them and given them a name, a purpose, a function. So they are providing you the function of starting the level. Okay, so that is it. uh, we're done with step number 6. You can read all of this information. So guys, you can, when you enhance the game, you can create more donuts than required. So let's say you can create uh, let's say your target is 10 donuts, you can choose to create 15 or 20 donuts, and then your sprite has to collect just enough donuts. In that case, you can use this comparison, which is collected is equal to or more than the target, in case you're creating more donuts. Okay, so step number 6 is done, and we get sparkles in the weather series. And now we have to just download and play our game. Let's play the game once, guys, and let's see how it's looking. Left screen, level 1. All right. Level 2, we have more bonus. Okay. Level 3, again, more bonus. In time. Oh, my game was over. Okay. Now, this does seem easy, but let's see how you can make the game tougher. So, when you set the target, you can set the target to a higher amount. All right. So, you can say something like level 2 times the level or 3 times the level. All right, anything works. Okay. um, so try it out, make variations to the game. Okay, and just share your projects with me so that I can see how you are playing the Donut Rush game. So one last step is left, which is to download and play the game. So here are the detailed detailed steps. I'll just show it to you guys. So first thing you have to do is to save your project from here. Now click on the download section, and you have to download it as a file first, depending on which hardware you have. Okay, so you easily get them off Amazon. So just for the sake, let's say I have this one Meowbit with me, and it will be downloaded as a file, a UF2 file. So once I have this, I have to choose my hardware, let's say this one, and I have to connect my device. So when you connect, you need a USB cable. You need to connect your laptop and the device, and you have to press connect device. I don't have one with me right now, but when you do, it will just connect it and transfer your project to the device, and you guys can easily play it. So we have a short demo of it over here. You guys can watch it once you have the device. It's very easy. So I hope you guys had fun playing the Donut Rush game. Do share your projects with me. You can just click the share button, copy the link, share it with me in either chat, or you can share your project from the link given below. Click on share a project, submit your project, give your project a name, just write some description, paste the link, and share your project. Your project appears in the Codeverse section, takes some moments to load. All right. You can also view other people's projects over here, like them, comment on it. Okay. And every time that you submit a project, you get 50 points. Okay. And also your uh, profile also increases. So, for example, I'm Chief Inventor 3. You guys can just go up the coding ladder, okay, and you can enhance your profile. So that's it for today. Next time I'm gonna meet you guys with a new class, new lesson, and new fun. Till then, be happy and keep coding. Goodbye, guys. Have a nice day.